It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. It's also for anyone who celebrates Loophole Day. In a sort of an unadvertised change of formation today. Unfortunately, Dan and Dave couldn't make it. Dargan can, but I can drop the 3Ds thing because Keith's joined as well. He stepped in at the last minute. Lads, you've both got news. So, Paul, we'll kick off with yours. You got stuff to plug. Go for it.
I hate doing this, but yeah, if Les has forced me to do it. I've released a new single today, so you've probably seen on my Twitter, or you probably haven't. But yeah, it's just a deep house tune if people like that stuff. If you don't, come on and slag it off. I'm quite happy to accept the criticism as well. And I've got a few gigs coming up as well. One should have been the 31st of May, but it isn't now. It's been changed to the end of June. I've just got to confirm the date for that. 50% of the ticket money is going to a charity as well. So my mate is undergoing cancer treatment at Wiston Hospital. So the ward where he gets his treatment will be getting 50% of any of the ticket sales made as well. So that would be really nice to pass on. And then playing another gig, which is a new event. It's more of a student thing, really. It's at Soto on on Wood Street, formerly Corova. That's going to be Monday, the 3rd of June. I think Les is coming along. It's going to be between 6 and 10:30 in the evening, not in the morning. And I know Mondays aren't really, party nights for people, but clearly for students, every night's a party night, isn't it? But yeah, no, appreciate that, Les.
It's still within last train home territory, so I'm on board.
Oh, defo, yeah. Well, we can both get the train back because now I live on the Wirral.
Exactly, you've made it. Keith, Championship Cup winning Keith.
Yeah. So we the sort of mental health inclusion team that I am involved with, play with occasionally. We're invited to take part in a D-Day anniversary tournament at Goodison on Tuesday. Not quite the D-Day anniversary yet, but I don't think they could have had it on the actual day. So it's like Everton military veterans is like a charity based thing, and they invited us along to take part, and we promptly did the decent thing and snotted them all and won the tournament. So if there's any of you listening, I do apologize. But yeah, here we are, just sporting our winners' medals.
That's right.
So yeah, we could be the last team to win a trophy at Goodison Park.
Hey, I think you could be pretty safe in that one. What was it like then? Like playing at Goodison? I've coached at Goodison. What's it like playing there?
Something else, absolutely ridiculous. It's one of those things that we've all sort of had that little dream as a kid to run out at Goodison and play in blue, and yeah, it's as good as you think it's going to be. It was, and I managed to slot a penalty in the winning penalty shootout. So
excellent work.
Yeah, you did something
good.
Amadou Onana couldn't do.
Exactly. No silly run-ups from me, Les. You know me.
Oh, yeah, full-on Brexit penalty.
Sensible 4-step run-up, hard as you can, to the keeper's left. They're not stopping it.
That's all you're going to do.
Every time.
It's that simple. Right, we'll kick off then. So just on the gift that I put up on the tweet for this was obviously Wayne Clark with that wonderful chip down at Highbury and the 86-87 season. Mark said he was there in the seats. That ball seemed to take an 8 to bounce over the line. One of those times stood still moments, and we didn't half laugh at Lukic. Happy days. Come on, you Blues. Yeah, Lukic dropped the ball up there. Right. Okay, on the subject of Arsenal and the weekend's game, Liam has asked, why do the players we buy directly from Arsenal always turn out to be duds? Stephen Hughes, Walcott, Richard Rice, Sender Ross, Jeffers, Part 2, etc. Now, Paul, you pulled him up on this, a player he missed out. And Keith, you might want to hear about this as well. Paul, what did you say?
Why wasn't Iwobi in that list?
Should Iwobi be in that list? Was he a dud?
You know what I mean. My idea really was it just seems to be I don't know, it's on trend for Everton to go to like teams who finish higher than them in the table and go, well, sort of have one of your fringe-ish players. And I know Iwobi did play probably about 100 games for Arsenal, didn't he? But still, if they were happy to let him go for a fee that they deem to be acceptable, that's always a worrying sign for me. I don't know, it feels like you're taking cast-offs, doesn't it? But
yeah,
that's just
we got absolutely rinsed on that as well, didn't we? How much was he? 30 odd million?
I don't know, actually. You never get the full actuality, do you?
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know, we seem to get rinsed on many. This is why loads of people want Moyes back.
I'll tell you what, that man knew his way around the bargain bin, didn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What a lad, what a fella.
Yeah, just think of the amount of shit he must have in his house because he gets all the best stuff out the middle aisle. I imagine what his gaff must look like. Keith, so should we stretch this out then beyond Arsenal? Because it's just been very endemic of Everton, hasn't it? Like for years now, where United, Arsenal, Moyes was guilty of this as well with United a bit, but
we've bought some
generally were, I think.
We've bought some absolute gubbins for big money, haven't we? From like the big teams. And they've never really worked out. The only one sort of the exception that disproves the rule, you would say, is Lukaku.
Yeah.
30 million off Chelsea because they decided he was like surplus to requirements, didn't want him. Came in and like slotted for fun for 4 years and then got off. What I will say on that is obviously we did the whole try before you buy thing with him.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the way to go. So I fully expect Everton to loan Scott McTominay this summer.
Just on the try before you buy. We're all fellas of a certain vintage. But I think Terry Curran was just a little bit before my time, but he was the classic try before you buy that doesn't turn out because he was absolutely unreal when he was on loan. I think he scored one against Luton, and then we signed him, and then he didn't do anything else. So you've got to approach with caution a bit.
And then the opposite,
it's a bit like the way Everton players play out the skin when they're up for a new contract, and then kind of drop off the radar again, which I've no doubt will happen this season. What was I going to say then? I was going to say something about Lukaku. So 31-year-old Lukaku is available once again from Chelsea for 30 million.
I'm ready to get hurt again.
Yeah. I'm there. Give them Onana. Get Lukaku. I'm in.
Yeah, I'd straight up do that.
Paul, what are you saying?
I just wish that because this was the problem, wasn't it? When he is clearly his best goal scoring days it was in that period that Keith mentions at Everton. I don't see him anywhere else, especially for for that prolonged time, doing like go to United. Oh look, he's about 50 stone, and it's just frustrating. I don't understand why. All right, you can't understand why players want to get more money and stuff, and then they play for. They think, oh, I'm gonna surround myself with better players, and then instantly I'll become a better player. It doesn't work like that. It clearly doesn't. You've got that many different players who not just related to Everton transfers in or out, who've gone on thinking that they're going to be better players elsewhere. I think one exception to that rule and involving United was Berbatov, because he had that obviously amazing spell at Tottenham, and then he did play a lot better. But is that because of Ferguson, Alex Ferguson being there? I mean, maybe it's to do a lot with if Lukaku would have played under Ferguson, that he'd have been 10 years previous or something like that. Rooney was very lucky to go there in that spell.
Yeah.
Doing that as well. So that's another exception to the rule. But I suppose he was genuine world class. And I'm not saying Lukaku wasn't. For the period he was at Everton, he was clearly, if he wasn't world class, he was, really just under that ceiling.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that make me laugh going, oh, he didn't have a first touch. Well, it doesn't bother me because he's putting the ball in the net enough. He used to terrify Arsenal. Imagine in this Dyche team, not conceding as many goals. This is a future question. I think I've seen it, or that I remember. You know, if you got a goal scorer this season, Everton finish in the top 8, easy, absolutely easy, with no problem whatsoever. And I don't think having a goal scorer means that you play more open, because Everton have had how many chances? And I don't like the XG stuff, but it can be used to the good effect. Aren't we like -9 XG or something this season for chances and for not taking them? I'm sure 19.
Yeah, it's something like that.
And I did say from the beginning of the season, I thought, and I know it sounded stupid and it hasn't happened, but it's not as far off as what I thought, that we would concede less goals than Liverpool, because I thought they'd be more expansive and their midfield might not knit together. We've only finished 12 goals or so behind them, haven't we? In fact, it's not even that now, is it? Because we didn't concede against Sheffield United either.
Yeah.
And Pickford's second in the clean sheet table.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Just sort of on that, I suppose Pickford's like the sort of the exception, isn't he? Because he's a player who we all reckon could go on somewhere better. Could have done the last few years, you know, being England's #1 goalie. You think he'd have like the pick of the clubs, and he's not gone anywhere. Hopefully that will continue this summer. But he's a player who you feel he is world class because of what he's done with England. You know, he's done enough to win them tournaments, but he stayed at Everton, and that could be because he just quite likes it.
Oh, absolutely. I think he loves the arguments with Tarkowski now as well, doesn't he? He's not going to get that elsewhere, is he?
Imagine trying to argue with the soft lad at United, Slabber. Right. Liam Fitz has asked, the Everton squad are on holiday. Oh, they will be on Sunday, don't worry. Who was in charge of the barbecue? Who was in charge of the tunes? And who was the lifeguard sitting on one of them big chairs at the side of the pool? I mean, the answer is Pickford for me.
Pickford's in charge of the tunes 100%.
All day. Yeah. Did you see that Puma advert he did on Instagram?
No, I haven't.
He's like, I think, yeah, so it's like he's behind a DJ deck and it's sort of like 150 appearances or something. I don't know, but it's very, very on brand for Get the Rave on Pickford. So yeah, he's definitely in charge of tunes.
Yeah. Who would you trust with the barbecue?
I reckon Tarkowski will go full alpha male and be like, right, I'm doing the barbecue.
Yeah.
Regardless, even if he's the worst cook, he'd come back and say,
he'd refuse to move from it as well, though, wouldn't he? Like, even when he needs a piss, he wouldn't move. He'd just do it in an empty bottle of like Budweiser or something.
Yeah.
Or wheel the barbecue over to behind the shed.
I tell you what, just on that, for anyone who has ever pissed in a bottle, it's surprising how quickly it fills up.
It's terrifying how quickly it fills up.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you're on the road, usually.
Yeah. It's always at the back of a coach.
Yeah.
And you've got to if you're using like a 2-litre Fanta bottle, you've got to get your aim dead on, and you very rarely do.
Horrible flashbacks to the Palace away cup quarter-final when a certain nameless member of the Blue Room contributors used a Costa coffee cup and then tried to decant it into a bottle, but before trying to decant it, tried to make a funnel of the cup by squeezing it together.
Oh my
God. Is that the infamous river of piss?
River of piss.
Oh my God.
It was bad. It was very, very bad. But we stopped at the next services. We got some boiling water from McDonald's and we swilled the coach, and all was right again. And eventually we got home from Palace, although some might say we left part of our souls there.
I think so. It probably didn't help having a party the night before either. It was Jack's 30th.
Jack's 30th, wasn't it? Yeah. So we went out at 7:30 on Saturday night and didn't get home until about 1 o'clock Monday morning, basically.
Yeah, and the good news was Everton got smacked 4-1 as well, so that was nice.
4-0, wasn't it?
It was 4-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, we scored, didn't we?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen the fourth goal because I got off at 3. I think they scored just as I was getting into the road outside, they scored. I don't remember any of the other goals because I went out on the Saturday night and didn't make it home. So yeah, I do remember Lampard's interview.
That was terrible, wasn't it?
You all remember that Lampard's
Yeah.
interview, don't we? First goal, jammy goal. Second goal, another jammy goal. Doesn't count. It's like when you get beat off your mate on FIFA and you're like making excuses for it. That's what he was like after that one.
Yeah, doesn't count.
Nice fella though, Frank.
Lovely fella. Lovely fella.
I think Everton definitely played like on FIFA. You know, when your pad dies.
Yeah.
The game. And the other team's just playing on. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like.
So it's like that meme, isn't it? Like, lad, you're clearly the better player. Just pass it around the back for the second half. I want to eat some toast. Everton were eating toast that day.
Right. So we say Tarkovsky in charge of the barbecue. Any
Yeah.
hands on that, Paul?
No, I'm happy with that. Yeah. Well, unless he's got like a clear and factual record of botulism, then yeah.
That'll do. Who's the lifeguard then? Soon to depart Andre Gomez.
Or Branthwaite. Because he's big, I mean. Not because so he's trying to say that like the lifeguard has to be handsome, but not really good at saving people.
I don't know, really. Yeah, is he just one of those lifeguards who just sits there like him off Stranger Things?
I reckon Ashley Young, because I could see him being a bit of a grass and he'd be sitting there like, oh, no running by the pool.
Oh, he'd love it, wouldn't he? He'd have a whistle.
Like
oh,
Steve,
yeah, he'd have a whistle.
Steve Coogan's security from the pool, you mean?
No one died.
No one died. In 1980, was the incident with the pigeon. Wine?
Thanks.
Wine o'clock?
Wine just arrived.
There we
All
go.
right, wasn't it?
Well played, Lou.
Louise will be featured later in this podcast as well. So there's something to look forward to. Let's go to hot topic. What have you bottled out of doing? Haven't bottled out of anything. Anyone know what this hot topic will relate to?
Is it Arsenal?
Yeah,
it's to do with the Arsenal game.
What the upcoming Arsenal game? Or
yeah, it's Richard Masters.
Oh God, yes.
Oh, him.
Yes, forgot about
that rascal.
Exactly.
Bottling out to go into Man City, where he probably should be handing the title over to Man City. Because let's face it, nice to a gunfight. That would be a big surprise, wouldn't it?
Well, what an absolute scamp he is.
Oh, just a terrible fella. So yeah, he's bottled out to go into Man City because he doesn't want to hand over the Premier League when they're on 115 charges. So he'll go to Everton instead. Very, very strange fella. I have actually put this hot topic up and can't think of anything, even though I am like the world's biggest bottle job.
I bottled out of a charity abseil once.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you have a good excuse, or did you just like it's not for me?
Got to the top and I was just like, nah, it's not for me. I am terrified of heights.
Yeah, same.
Like absolutely petrified of heights. So got to the top, had a look down, went like I had the full rig out on and was roped up and everything. And I just couldn't, my legs would not take me to the edge. They just said no. So there you go.
Do you know what? You can't argue with that. If your legs just won't take you.
Yeah. It wasn't happening.
Me and my dad bottled out of the big death slide at Wet n Wild in Florida in about 16. So there was a big massive death slide that was just a straight drop, and then underneath there was this blue slide at like 12 round. So me and my dad got there all excited, first time we've been and everything, started legging it up like, right, let's go to the top and do this. Got about halfway up to the top of the death slide and we're like, nah, ran down with the blue slide, bottled it.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I'm actually all right with rides because I hate heights, and as Les knows, I worked in the obviously with Dave, Radio City Tower for 2 years, and the second time when I was going
still one of the funniest things I've ever seen. This.
Me? Oh God, yeah. I know. And Tom, when I used to go into the news and sports desk, all of the windows underneath by your feet, they're the ones that creep me out. they're all blocked off. Obviously, desks and computers and stuff, and then there's all stuff on the people's desks. So I had no problem bouncing in like I'm like walking on the ground. And then every time you were doing the blue room, and I was going on that, and people had to, like, the girl who does the tours had to like put it on so to go, there's nothing to see, it's fine. And Tom used to like lean with his head against like the window, didn't he? Going,
Yeah.
that's the heights.
And you're like pinned to the wall, won't even look.
Oh, horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Let me. So I know exactly how you feel, Keith, with heights that way. So there's not a chance I'd be like doing that abseiling or anything. Like, weirdly enough, though, I used to love going to Alton Towers and everything, and I'd go on the rides because I thought, obviously, it's absolutely fine. I'm not going to lose my limbs or anything, am I? So let's move.
I mean,
yeah, moving on.
Let's move on.
Have a bottle down of anything then?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, I would say that. I did. Well, I suppose I didn't bottle out of it, did I? But it was.
No, you did it.
It was. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, but I wouldn't say that I did it like proudly.
Do you find you're getting worse as you get older as well?
Well, heights.
Just with everything. I think the closer I get to death, the more scared of it I become. So I'm way more wary about stuff than I was when I was younger. I guess that's just natural, isn't it?
Yeah, I've always been paranoid about loads of different things, but I don't worry about anything more. I just get more annoyed by things, I think. And probably annoy more people as well.
Yeah, that's perfectly natural. Get annoyed by everything. Gary, given the portal between Dublin and New York, that was great the way that was closed down, wasn't it? Which two cities from different countries would you like to see a portal formed? His would be Liverpool and Oslo, so we can remind the natives that they did indeed lose the league at Goodison Park, which is a great shout. Where would you have a portal between? I'm thinking New Brighton, Oblong, New Brighton, California, just to see the difference. I bet New Brighton, Oblong is better, even though you're the ones in California.
Bangkok and Birkenhead.
Oh God, yeah, yeah, bang in the middle of the pyramids, in the food court in the pyramids in Birkenhead.
Get to the top of the escalator, or even just before you get to the top, when you're having a conversation with someone and turn around, just gonna go, and then just.
Yeah, I think Bangkok to Birkenhead could be the title of this podcast now.
Yeah, I can't better that.
Where else would be good for a portal?
Scamming somewhere, but I suppose you could have scam to Walton. That would be better.
We'll come back to that. We'll have a think on that. We'll come back and we'll go on to Jack's question. Dan's probably made up. He didn't turn up now. Jack, what has been the key to the success of Dyche? Go ahead, Paul. You've had thoughts on this before, so.
Oh yeah, well, I was just saying that obviously conceding less goals, or also scoring less goals, but you've got to take the positives. If you don't concede, you cannot lose. But if you don't score, you cannot win. But I think being fourth best defence in the league, when's the last time that happened? But anywhere close to that for Everton. So I think you've got to take positives to build forward, because he's not going to be replaced. So we're going to have to sort of get behind that. And if you see the Coleman, Idrissa Gueye and Ashley Young have got year extensions, that to me means there's absolutely no bottle or pot to be pissing in this transfer window in the summer. So
yeah, I haven't even got a 2 litre plastic Fanta bottle. Matt Flusk, a wild Flusk has entered the waiting room.
Oh, was he? Excellent work.
There we go.
Is he like at the portal or?
Yeah, he's come straight from Bangkok.
A portal between Mailbag and wherever Matt Flusk is. That's what we need.
The Denby, surely.
If he rocks up now at the captain's table in the Denby, that's it. I'm going for another run.
I wish.
Oh, here he is.
Oh, hello.
Oh, where are you?
Oh, he's at Warrington Station.
Ah, yes.
Oh, look at this. This is great. On location. I like it.
Shall I
Matt,
do
quick
some
one
vox
then.
pops?
Given the portal between Dublin and New York, which two cities from different countries would you like to see a portal formed?
Ooh. Uh, hmm. Probably two that. Ah. Hmm. That's a tough one, that.
Two that really hate each other would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, two that really hate each other, yeah. Yeah. I think, like, probably Riyadh and Tel Aviv would be quite funny.
Topical.
It is very.
Rome and Glasgow, like the Vatican and Glasgow, but specifically outside Ibrox.
Ibrox, yeah.
Imagine.
That's the one.
It's the portal in an offie by Ibrox as well.
I got camera off.
What's been the key to the success of Dice, Keith? The tracking, which apparently they're flogging off, aren't they?
Yeah,
Got an email today.
Giving everyone a chance to win it, haven't they?
Yeah.
I'd say Paul's spot on. To be honest, it's defensively. He's turned us from an absolute shambles at the back to a fairly solid unit. Like we have I don't know the numbers. I've sort of barely paid attention to this season. Certainly less so since we've secured survival. But I think we must have gone from very near the bottom of the list last season in terms of goals conceded to quite high up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't concede, you don't lose games.
Yeah, I think as well with that as well, if you the fact that the attack has been completely misfiring. Now that does you in the fact obviously that you don't score goals, so it's harder to win games. But it also puts so much more pressure on the defense. So to keep that defensive record with pretty much no attack, no real functional attack, that's even better really, because it's kind of it's not something that's really talked about much, that if your attack isn't doing its job, then the defense is under so much more pressure. Not only because they're thinking they've got to work harder to keep clean sheet because you're not going to score, but also because the ball's generally coming straight back to you as well. So, if you look at like a lot of those Everton games, and not that bad 15 game run, we did have quite a few good draws, but just across the season there was times where the ball was going up the attack, it's not sticking up there, it's coming straight back on us. So that makes it even more impressive really. And I just think it is that is where you've got to start with any team you want to be successful. You've got to start with the defense. You get the defense sorted, you build on that. You do it the other way around, it's a lot harder. Although it's nice to outscore teams, if you're leaking goals, it's not for me any of that caper. Matt, any thoughts on Dice?
Building on that, if you can hear me over the sound of a big dirty diesel tape, it's also the psychological damage that we seem to do when we take the lead. I mean, I don't know the stats, but it can't be more than 1 or 2 games a season where we took the lead and lost the game.
Yeah. Well, I think up until about halfway through last season, I think since he'd been there, every time we've gone ahead, we'd won, haven't we? So, yeah.
Well, I think just adding to that as well, look at the last 5 home games, no goals conceded. And in fact, did we win a game? I know there is one, but did we win a game where we conceded this season? Every win seems to be 2-0, but I'm sure there's one game. Was it? Oh, I can't think.
I'll have a look. I'll have a look at the results now.
There is one. I'm sure there was one, but it does show, doesn't it? And his stats himself, or that if they still do the pro zone stuff, but those stats will support that and support his theories of being obviously a lot tighter. And when you have fans who will say, for example, stop going backwards. But I'm more bothered about game management. Brentford, it was.
Yeah, and Palace as well. We beat Palace 3-2.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Hang on. No, I was thinking of the home ones, wasn't I? But yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
No, but that was right. No, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is right though, because I did say the just the wins, but I mean the last time that they won a game and didn't and conceded was that Palace game. Yeah.
Tell you
November
what,
the 11th.
just looking at that, like after that Chelsea game where I was ready to just burn it all down, that run is ridiculous.
Yeah.
After
Absolutely.
that, when you look at the fixtures we have coming up, against relegation rivals, even down to Sheffield United, historically, if a team's already been relegated, we're pretty much fodder for them, aren't we? That's kind of how it happens. So, to get like 4 wins and a draw out of those 5 games is incredible. I mean, it'll all turn to shit against Arsenal and like completely wipe out everything, but it doesn't matter. It's fine.
It doesn't matter now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still might do that. I might. It's a. No one's hit 10 goals in the Premier, have they? I
What do
still
you
want to know.
No.
One's scored
No
10
player scored 10
in
goals.
the Premier.
Top scorers are Calvert-Lewin and Doucouré on 7 each.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I meant a club. No club has scored 10 goals in the Premier League yet.
Oh, okay. 10-0 win.
Yeah. Or 10-1 maybe. No, but I clearly don't want that to happen, of course. But what you say. So no, the only goals they've conceded, pretty much, that you could argue with are the Chelsea ones, because they just didn't turn up that night, did they? And then to have then won 5 around that. I know the Burnley game was before it, but to win 5 around that to 0 sort of levels off that. That goal difference in that period of time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But Arsenal away has always been horrendous anyway. We know this. It would be hilarious that I don't want Everton to lose the game. I don't care if it means nothing, in the grand scheme of things. But it would be hilarious if they battered us and still didn't win the league. Because I know there's another question later on. Actually, let's see.
The ideal situation for me is City lose to West Ham, Arsenal absolutely stump us, and it ends 0-0, or we sneak a 1-0. That is the absolute dream scenario for me, and City win the league. That's how it would go, wouldn't it? City need to lose and Arsenal need to win, basically, don't they?
Yeah, City are a point ahead. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal got better goal difference, haven't they?
Yeah, +3, I think it is, isn't it?
Oh, so we'd need to win.
Yeah, they definitely need to win.
That would be funny, that though, if we just scabbed a 1-0 win after getting walloped everywhere. City get beat. That would be incredible. We can dream. On the subject of North London football, Jack's also asked, is there a bigger cry-horse in the Barclays than Big Ange? Why do you think he's become such a figure of ridicule?
Because
clearly still block while he's still here, isn't he? But yeah.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, Keith.
I mean, I've long been in the camp that having success with Celtic does not make you a good manager. Like it just fundamentally doesn't. And I've long said that he would probably struggle adjusting to the Premier League, and lo and behold, he is, because playing a ridiculously high line might work against Ross County and Kilmarnock, but when you've got players like Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland, you're going to get ripped apart. And funnily enough, they have. I seen a thing the other day after they lost to City that said since I think it's since week 11 or something, Spurs have taken less points than Everton.
Yeah. See, this is
Everton went 4 months without a win.
This is where the Premier League really needs to be looked into, because how the fuck are they finishing as high up the table as they are when they never seem to win? Same with Chelsea. What's going on?
There's a tweet that does the rounds, and I think it was from a couple of years ago. Evdokius, or however you pronounce it.
Oh yeah.
West Ham are 8th, yet they get absolutely bodied every week. Is anybody looking into this?
It's timeless, isn't it? Because it's the same with Spurs. It's like, but they literally have a worse record than Everton since November.
Yeah.
Like, as you say, a period where we didn't win for 15 games. And they're still up in the European spot. It's mad.
The Barclays is a failed institution.
It really is. Yeah. So
it needs an overhaul from top to bottom. It needs do you know what it needs? It needs, like, every summer when the 3 promoted teams are confirmed, they need to have a meeting of the clubs that haven't been, like, relegated and say, are these acceptable to come into our glorious Barclays? Luton Town, absolutely not.
No. Yeah.
They have no place. It's no. Be gone, never to be seen again.
On so many levels as well.
Yeah. Just everything about them.
Yeah.
Just screams Sky Bet.
It's a bit like the way the old conference and fourth division used to work, wasn't it? Where you'd have to get, like, the teams would have to agree to promote you. You get promoted by committee, basically. Yeah, bring that back. I'm all for that.
I mean, Norwich, I would say Norwich are acceptable to get promoted, but they need to have like a tariff limit. Like, they can only get promoted and relegated, promoted and relegated, promoted and relegated so many times before we say, right, that's it, you cut off.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Same with West Brom then, because West Brom are even more yo-yo, aren't they, than Norwich?
My issue with Norwich is, though, they turn up in the Barclays, beat Everton twice, and then get beat about 16-0 on aggregate against Liverpool. That's my big issue with them.
They seem to play Liverpool 7 times a season as well.
Easily, yeah.
Anytime you turn around, Liverpool have beaten Norwich.
Yeah.
It's like a Wednesday afternoon and Luis Suarez has just scored his 4th.
4th hat-trick.
Yeah, get them gone as well.
Yes.
Paul, Big Ange, what are your thoughts?
I've got loads of mates who are Celtic fans, so they didn't want to lose him. And Tottenham are weird, aren't they? They won 2 league titles in the history, but they seem... swap. I always have a thought about geographic location. If Tottenham swap places with Hull, no players go into Tottenham. They'd only go in there because it's in North London, I feel.
Yeah. I think the thing about Tottenham is as well, and I sort of thought and almost hoped in a way that Everton would be the only club. Matt's on the train. Everton would be the only club to get Jose Mourinho as manager and not win anything. That was purely because I wanted Jose Mourinho as Everton manager because it would have been incredible. But Tottenham, I think that's got to be the only gap he's gone to and not won the trophy, isn't it?
Yeah. Even Europa League at United, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And the FA Cup, didn't he?
But I can't even remember.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's just something about Spurs. And they know it, and we know it because we're the same.
They are very, very Spursy.
Yeah. Matt, any thoughts on Postecoglou?
Silly fraud. Just a silly fraudulent man. He needs to get back to the butty van, to be honest.
Those got incredibly big on these. Question from you, Matt. Do you want to read your question out?
I can't remember what it was.
Okay, I'll do it for you. It is a worldie, like. You can remove one thing policed by VAR, but you must add a different one. What are you going for? Matt, what are your thoughts on this?
I wanted yours, to be honest, Fred.
Mine? Okay, yeah, so offside, that goes. For me.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, and for the other rule that you bring in, to make sure the ball's in the quadrant at a corner kick. So, imagine them getting the lines out for that. Just to make sure there's a little overhang on the quadrant. That's the one for me.
Right. I'm also getting rid of offside and going to that automated thing. Yeah. But I want the automated thing to be clear daylight between the players.
Yeah.
I think
No.
If the striker's leaning
we're having an offside discussion. I am fully on board.
If the striker's leaning forward, but his foot is still in line with the defender, that should be fine.
No advantage gains.
Oh no,
And technical difficulties.
Matt's having technicals.
Rebuttal. I'm sure he'll come back to us.
I mean, my thing always has been and still is, if you need to draw lines, don't. It's not offside. It's just not. If you can't look from 3 angles and decide whether that's offside, it's not offside. Because the whole purpose of the rule is so you can't goal hang. That's it. That's the only reason it's in. It's not to be millimeters ahead of a player, gaining pretty much no advantage. And it's used as a way to rule out goals. That's what they use it for now. They're basically
bring your shoulders in front of a player.
Yeah, I just think if you're a striker and you're looking down the line and you can see that you're level with a defender, you know that you're onside because you're level. But if you put your foot out to run at the same time, how the hell are you meant to compute all this at the same time to stay onside?
Yeah, we shouldn't have a situation where the striker needs one of those sort of laser pointer meter things you get from B&Q to make sure you've hung your picture straight, to make sure they stay onside. It's ridiculous. Bin it. What I'm bringing in is free kicks being taken in the correct position.
Oh, yes, I'm into this.
And I want it, like, you know, in the snooker, where they superimpose the picture before shot before where the ball was. I want the foul superimposed and make sure he's taking the free kick from the right place, because I am still vehemently angry.
I know where you're going.
About David Beckham's free kick on the last day of the season when United lifted the trophy at Goodison, because he took that about 15 yards away from the foul.
That was the first thing I thought of when you said that, but it still does my head into this day.
The
foul was up at a touchline, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on the touchline, and it took about 10 yards infield and 5 yards further forward. And I mean, it stopped the Reds winning the league. So, in fairness, it was a really well taken free kick, and we should applaud him for that. But in future, down with this sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and I want John Virgo on VAR as well, asking where's the fullback going.
Well, to keep the snooker theme going, then, if you don't take it from the correct place, you have to take the free kick with a snooker cue.
Also, at this point, can we start calling snooker like Rob Weir calls it?
Snooker.
You've been watching the World Seniors Championship, haven't you? That's what he says. Snooker.
A bit of snooker.
Matt, where are you on the VAR thing?
Well, I'm going to be interrupted there. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, we've got you.
I'm going to be interrupted there by the signal going. All this talk about daylight's nonsense, because a line's going to be drawn somewhere, and there'll be an argument about someone's fingernail bridging the daylight. There's always going to be an argument. In terms of what I bring in, though, managers in the technical area, and it should be the same technology as semi-automated. The second that Arteta strays outside that, buzzer goes off and it gets a lecky shot.
like a running man style collar.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
just pop his head up.
Stick like an electric fence around it, like people use to keep the cows in.
Because I've seen at least 3 times with Goodison, because I'm right on the touchline in the corner. I've seen at least 3 times how the referee has missed a very clear, or the linesman rather has missed a very, very clear call because the manager's been stood in the way.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, even at kids' football, you have like a respect barrier that everyone stands behind. Not me, because I'm a twat and I'm a manager and I just end up on the pitch anyway. But it's a thing, isn't it? So like you can see, you know, where the ball's out and whoever's running the line can see it. So yeah, I'm fully on board with that as well. Paul?
If people think that electrocution is too inhumane, then maybe just line up loads of rakes like Sideshow Bob steps on if they go out the technical area, so it just smashes them right in the face.
Sideshow Bob. Oh, go on, Keith.
Speaking of rakes, how much did everyone enjoy John Aldridge stepping on a rake? The big jacket.
That was like part Sideshow Bob, part Alan Partridge, wasn't it?
You'd think with all his extra income from his new CBD business that he'd have bought himself a pair of gardening shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have thought the hair rough.
At least he probably didn't feel it.
This, yeah, true. Stuart
My
Ash.
VAR, sorry. No, my VAR dead quick then is
Oh,
was
sorry,
just,
yeah,
no, it's all right. Offside exactly is to go against Matt Budstick, but I'm with Keith on this. But what I will bring in is, remember, was it like the 1972 Lions tour that any time there was like a kickoff anywhere across the field, you just used to shout 99 and then just smack the nearest opponent. That would definitely stop people like Son 2-footing people and getting away with murder. And
I should bring in all the 99.
So just anytime you shout 99, whoever the closest opponent is, you just go up and jaw them instantly. And you can only do it once in a game, though. What's that?
Like ice hockey, where like two people start kicking off and then everyone else just goes, "Oh well, if they're doing it."
Yeah.
What I don't get with that is, why did they take the gloves off to punch somebody in the helmet?
Yeah. Strange.
I think they're told to. And they used to take the helmets off as well, but the league banned it because they were getting full concussions.
Jesus. That's kind of what happens when you hit people in the head, isn't it?
Yeah.
They did have one in the playoffs the other week where literally the whistle went to the start, or the klaxon, whatever, did it start the match. And literally both sides, every single player dropped the gloves and just ran it at the start of the match.
Into that.
Yeah, I could have some of that.
Here's a little supplementary on that then. Who would be Everton's best scrapper? And who would you want to see them chin?
Feels like Tarkovsky, because he's always thereabouts, isn't he?
Yeah. He'd be Pickford, but you wouldn't want him to leave his goal, really.
Well, Pickford chinning Van Dijk anytime he comes into the 6-yard box.
Should have stayed onside.
Yeah, I've said that. Yeah.
Exactly. And this was the game where it was Big Daddy Van Dijk, wasn't it? Where he was owning the Everton players.
Oh yeah, and in the first minute went through the back of James Rodriguez, didn't he?
Yeah. Just to show him who's boss.
And your man from was it Red Men TV or whatever was, look at that, Big Daddy Van Dijk.
Yeah.
And then 2 minutes later, Big Daddy Van Dijk's knees like broken Lego. We shame.
That needs a statue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That whole thing needs a statue.
I have a statue of that outside the new ground.
Oh, 100%. All day. Stuart has asked, who, famous or otherwise? Who, famous or notorious, have you ever regretted having a picture with or being associated with Everton or otherwise? So I've got one for this. It's not me, it's Louise. This is where she turns up on tonight's podcast. She's got a picture from when she was about 10, 11. And she's at Madame Tussauds and she sat opposite Jimmy Savile, waxwork. And she was made up,
Or is it his waxwork?
It was his waxwork, thankfully. But
it's hard to tell them apart, to be fair.
She's got a great picture of it. One second. I'll try and find it now. She looks so happy. They were more innocent times, clearly. But I don't know if you can see it. But...
innocent for some.
Hold on, I'll turn off the background thing. Go on, anyone got anything?
Not really. Like, sort of harks back to a few weeks ago when we were talking about like the most famous people you've met, and mine was Prince Philip, and so that's a pretty rubbish association to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look how made up she is.
She's so happy.
I need to know what he's asking her.
I'll find out.
Louise, can I fix it for you to go into the dugout at Goodison Park?
She has actually got a picture of herself in the dugout at Goodison Park as well. But I don't think it was anything to do with Jim Fixes or his waxwork.
Is that what he called it?
Paul, have you got anything? Any pictures with people you regret? Apart from me.
Well, yeah, because you saw me tweet that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I would say surely it's the opposite way round. Loads of people have had a picture taken with me and regretted this. Or I would say I just regret ruining other people's pictures. I don't think I have, no. No, I can't think of anyone Everton connected. And there's nothing slightly related. About 95 or 96, we were at either on Towers or Camelot, sorry. Which one's got a log flume? If they both have, I don't know. But directly in the log flume in front of us was Frank Bruno with his kids. And we tried to get off quick enough to ask if we could have a picture with him. This is days before mobile phones. Do you remember? 30 years ago.
Just like disposable.
Yeah. And instead, we bought his picture from the log flume and asked him to sign it. And my brother had swapped them over, and he signed our picture instead of it. So yeah.
So you got a picture of you and your brother signed by Frank Bruno.
Yeah.
Nice.
So bizarre, yeah.
Matt, any dodgy associations with anyone?
No one famous, no.
Any infamous?
I don't think so, no. The only one I can think of is, and I can say this because actually no, this doesn't go up publicly. The one I like to tell is my sister's claim to fame is when she was doing museum tours. She once left a room full of school kids alone with Ron Farris for like 2 minutes.
Jesus. There's a definite theme with this question here, isn't there?
I know.
Right, we'll move on to one from Honest Joe. Which would lighten the mood? Shag, marry, kill, Bob the Builder, Postman Pat, or Fireman Sam?
Oh,
Definitely
we do this as a collective.
Yeah.
I'm going to say we're going to have to kill Fireman Sam purely because of association with that little prick Norman Price.
Oh, good.
He's one knobhead, him, isn't he?
He's one bad dickhead.
All right, so let's say Postman Pat and Fireman Sam are in the same universe, kind of thing. Norman Price could be Postman Pat's son. There's definite similarities there. I don't know if Glendale is anywhere near Pontypandy, is it?
No, Glendale's in like the Yorkshire Dales, isn't it? And Pontypandy's obviously South Wales.
I mean, Postman Pat could have been, posted in South Wales at one point.
He could have been helping out. It could have been like down there when they had a staff shortage. Who knows?
But Postman Pat scabbed when the South Wales posties went on strike. Postman Pat scabbed, knocked up Norman Price's mum, fucked off back to Yorkshire. That's what happened.
Oh, we might have to kill him then.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Yeah, Postman Pat's
for any Notts Forest fans listening, never break a picket line.
All right, we're killing Postman Pat then, just on the basis that might have happened. I think
it might be his kid.
Yeah. I'm going to say marry Bob the Builder because it'd be handy to have around the house.
Around the house, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So we're shagging Fireman Sam.
I mean, it's classic. He's a fireman. It's.
He's probably got a massive hose.
Hey! He knows how to slide down a pole.
Oh, dog in the art. Tell you what, on that bombshell, we'll go on to your joke. Your joke question. What was it? Do you want to ask it?
Do I want to ask it?
Yeah, I think you should because I can't find it.
Yeah. Oh no, so I had a date once, and it was when I was, that space of time, and I thought I was Michael McIntyre crossed with Jim Davidson and not funny, basically. I'd done a bit of stand-up, and the girl, I had two jokes actually. The one that I put up, but the other one was, did you ever hear about the dyslexic fellow who walked into a bar? And the other one was, have you what have Keane, Kasabian, Kaiser Chiefs, Kings of Leon, and the Killers all got in common? They're all shite. And basically, yeah, she left after one drink. I don't think it was to do with the jokes. I think she laughed at the jokes. I think it was more the fact she didn't like me. So, yeah. But I made those jokes up myself, by the way.
Right,
yeah.
right.
It was so bad that Matt's just dropped out.
Yeah, so Matt's gone. Right, I've got a joke that needs finishing. Right. So it needs something that sounds like Wicket. Right. Because did you hear about, I mean, this might be a joke. I don't know already. It probably is. Did you hear about the dyslexic Yorkshire fella? He bought a flat cap. No, he bought it. I fucked it already. He bought a cat flap and something that sounds like Whippet. I can't think. I can't think about to finish it. There's a joke in there if you don't fuck it up like I did. There's definitely a joke in there. But yeah, the question was, what's your favourite joke?
Mine takes too long, and people will lose interest. But I'm gonna fucking tell it anyway.
Go ahead. There we go.
So, guy walks into a bar and he's got a pig on a lead, and the pig's got a wooden leg. And he goes up to the bar, he orders himself a pint. The barman says, "Why's your pig got a wooden leg?" She's right, "Well, you pour me a pint and I'll tell you a story." She's one night, we were asleep in our beds, house caught fire, electrical fire, smoke consuming us, flames licking up the wall. The pig smelt the smoke, smashed his way into the house, dragged us all out, saved our lives. He said, "Well, that's pretty amazing, but why's the pig got a wooden leg?" He said, "Another time, it was winter, and we were in the park, and my daughter was skating on the pond, and she went through some thin ice, and she was drowning. She was overcome with hypothermia. The pig slid along the ice on his belly, dipped his snout into the water, dragged her out, and saved her life." And I says, "It's amazing, but why's the pig got a wooden leg?" He says, "Another time, I was taking him for a walk in town, and there was a bank robbery in progress, and the robbers come running out the bank, bang, 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 shooting the guns into the air. The pig sprinted off, wrapped his lead around the legs, tripped him up, and foiled the bank robbery." Barman says, "Look, right, mate, honestly, he's an amazing pig. I've never heard of a pig this incredible, but why's he got a wooden leg?" And the guy looks him in the eye and says, "If you had a pig like that, would you eat him all at once?"
I've got one that takes no time at all. Baby Seal walked into a club.
Hey.
Oh,
Or more of a topical news story than a joke. Did you hear that the scientists were taking the shells off snails to see if they go any faster? They found that if anything, it made them more sluggish.
Oh,
Come on.
two fish in a tank. One turns to the other and says, "Do you know how to drive this thing?"
Hey! Matt, have you got one for the quickfire joke round?
well, if we're doing Tommy Cooper ones, the fish one's probably my second favourite. Is Stella goes to the doctor. She said, "I've got a cricket ball stuck up my arse." The doctor goes, "How's that?" I said, "Don't you start."
Fella goes into the doctor's, pokes his arm, goes, "Hate to want to do that." Pokes his chest, "Hate to want to do that." Pokes his leg, "Hate to want to do that." Pokes his head, "Hate to want to do that." Doctor goes, "Yeah, you broke your finger."
Hey. Guy goes into the doctor's, says, "Doctor, I can't pronounce my F's, T's, and H's." Doctor says, "Well, you can't say fairer than that."
Hey.
Oh, best thing in the world is telling these ones to like young kids who've never heard them before.
Oh, it's the funniest thing ever, isn't it? Yeah, it is brilliant. Right. Toffee. Oh, okay. So on the hot topic before bottling out doing stuff, Gary said in terms of bottling something, him and his wife have been to Olu Deniz in Turkey 3 times, including getting married there. Lovely part of the world, known for people paragliding from the cliffs and mountains. Every time we've been, he promised they'll do it next time, but they've never done it. And Toffee No said he bottled out to chatting out to the Blue Roomers after they'd finished doing their post-match Sheffield United podcast outside the Denby.
We're a very approachable group. Come and say hello.
Don't be bottling out to that, man.
I mean, you can't do it till August now, but
yeah,
We'll still be in the pub.
Come and say hello.
Yeah,
we're a very friendly bunch. If you've got a pint in your hand for us as well, it's an even better way to say hello. It's a great way to break the ice.
It is a lovely icebreaker. Yeah, what's that pint? It's for you. Thanks. It's good. Yeah.
But you're not gonna see me podcast live on my scooter.
You're honest.
Oh my god.
So just another reason to maybe watch it on YouTube is Matt's now tearing through town on an e-scooter.
Can we, Matt? Can you turn your camera around so that we can see where you're going?
Because
Oh, no,
if
because
you don't, I was going to say, Matt, it looks like Mitchell and Webb, the Adventures of Sir Digby Chicken Caesar, when he has like a go throw. Exactly.
Toffee Noses then asked,
Nearly by much.
who'd be a better owner of EFC than the current prospective ones? Whoever ran Betamax, the Simpsons monorail guy, or Mr. Bean? Monorail guy.
Betamax wasn't that bad, to be honest.
What's that?
Betamax just got a bit unlucky, to be honest.
I think he did,
didn't
didn't he? Yeah, that's what happened, isn't it? Apparently.
Maybe Fireman Sam.
What's that?
Maybe Fireman Sam.
Probably Fireman
And
Sam.
then Norman would burn the ground down.
I mean, would Norman Price be more effective than Kevin Thelwell?
Not for me to say, but I think he would.
You need to get that on a t-shirt for next season.
He always seems to be around Norman Price, doesn't he? The little kid.
Oh, yeah.
I reckon he's an artist.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he could be in it with Fireman Sam just to keep him in a job. You keep setting fires, I'll keep putting them out. Everyone's happy.
It's an agreement.
Yeah. They're on top, like, innit? That's actually it for this week's questions. I've rather hurriedly put my script together tonight with all the questions on. But that's it. Unless anyone wants to answer Liam Fitz's question, what's the worst place you've been on holiday?
Cape Verde.
Oh, God. quick recap of that, Keith, for people who don't know.
I went to Cape Verde, landed on the wrong island because of a Saharan dust cloud, spent a day there and came home with sunburn and hangover. That's as quick a recap as you're getting.
That's it in a nutshell. Can anyone top that?
I don't think I've had a bad holiday, luckily. I think everyone where I've been, they've decided not to let me go back there. I think it's the opposite way around. What? Hang on. Did you get a refund for this, Keith?
Oh, yeah, we got a refund and we got like extra vouchers and stuff. And we spent that on a week's all-inclusive in Mexico, which was great, by the way. But
so it all came up Millhouse in the end, but
everything came up Millhouse, but Cape Verde was a shambles. And let me tell you, that flight home with sunburn after all day drinking was not pleasant. I was a broken man for many a day.
But still here to tell the tale. That's the main thing.
I was going to say,
I live my life by 4 simple words. Did you die though? If you didn't, then it's not that bad.
And there you go. We'll end Mailbag on those wise words of wisdom from Keith there. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in this week. Thanks to the Rum. Thanks to Keith. Thanks to Paul. Thanks to Matt on his travels. Matt, get home safe, my man. That's been it for this week's Mailbag. You know, you're at the Denby. Fancy that. Who'd have thought it? Right, we will leave it there and we will catch you next week on Mailbag.